This is the Majestic Elegance Punta Cana, an all-inclusive resort sitting right on Bavaro Beach in the Dominican Republic. My husband and I came here for our 3-year anniversary, and in this video, I'll be giving you an honest review of the rooms, food, beach, pools, prices, and if I actually think it's worth your money. We stayed in a club-level room, so we got check-in in a separate lounge complete with drinks and snacks. We just checked into the Majestic Elegance Punta Cana. It was super easy, super quick. The check-in process probably took about 30 minutes. They filled out all of our passport information and stuff for us. First impressions of the room, it's absolutely giant. We were assigned a private butler who showed us to our room and made reservations at the restaurant. Now, I'm gonna be honest, the room itself definitely gives more 2008 vibes, which makes sense because that's when the resort was built. It's clean, spacious, but if you're expecting a super modern interior, that is not what this is. We loved the waterfall shower head and that the shower came inclusive of toiletries. As club level guests, we had access to extra perks like a butler, the club lounge, club pools, and a private section of the beach, which we really loved as a couple. Overall, the room did its job really well. Tons of space, comfy bed, big bathroom, and a great place to hang out after a long day at the beach. We had a cute little balcony overlooking one of the club level pools, which was really nice. The minibar was of course included. It came fully stocked with waters, beers, and sodas. We also had the option of picking a liquor of our choice, so we opted for a bottle of tequila. I found the robes to be super comfortable. They came with robes and slippers, so that was a pleasant surprise, and I definitely got my use out of them. Unfortunately, there wasn't a smart TV, so that was a bit of a bummer. After check-in, we headed to C&C Restaurant for some lunch right on the beach. There was a decent selection and the food is pretty good. You'll find a selection of burgers, hot dogs, salads, fruit, a custom pasta and taco station, plus a seafood bar inclusive of lobster claws, which was definitely a highlight for me. They also had a ton of desserts. What really makes this place stand out though is definitely the view. You're right by the ocean, you can hear the waves, so the vibes are just way better than the main buffet. For breakfast and lunch, this is buffet style and it becomes an a la carte sit-down restaurant for dinner.
I went to the stir-fry station. I cooked up a concoction. I used Alfredo sauce, shrimp, and a bunch of other stuff. So let's see how it tastes. Very hot. It's pretty good. I think it needs a little bit more like seasoning. They have a bunch of different stations though, so you can do make your own burger, fajita, stir fry, burger.
Fajita, pizza, fajita. These are actually really good. Burger is a big boy.
How is that?
Pretty good. Nice and greasy.
Majestic Elegance sits right on Bavaro Beach, which is known for soft white sand and a wide shoreline, and it really delivered. The sand is super soft and easy to walk on. The water was warm and comfortable for swimming. Seaweed did vary during our stay. On our first day, there was almost none. And the second and third days, it picked up a bit, but it was patchy. So if you walked a little bit and entered where it was clear, head out a bit into the water, it really opens up. By our last day, most of the seaweed had drifted away, which was really nice. The waves were gentle, which made perfect for floating. Little pro tip, bring a floaty from home and an insulated cup with a straw. The bartenders will happily fill it, and yes, they'll do doubles, so your drinks stay cold while you're out on the beach. If you forget, you can buy at the gift shop. Our hands down favorite restaurant at the resort was definitely Nine Doors, the sushi and hibachi spot. We loved it so much, we actually went twice for dinner in our 3-night stay. I'd rate it a solid 9.5 out of 10. You start with sushi, which is similar to what they serve in the club lounge. Simple but good, but the real star of the show is the hibachi and the performance. You'll get rice, noodles, chicken, shrimp, and beef all cooked in front of you with the classic hibachi show. It's fun and feels like more of an experience, and the portions are very generous. Reservations are supposed to be required here. The only reservation we could get was at like 8:30 or 9 p.m. Even though the resort never felt crowded, the reservation system definitely did. Because of that, we sometimes grab a snack at the buffet or the sports bar a few hours before our dinner slot. On our final night, we were craving hibachi again, so we actually just walked up and they were able to get us in for one of the later seatings that evening, even though we didn't have a formal reservation. The main buffet is called Flavors. We had kind of a mixed experience here, so let's talk about it. We first tried it for a late lunch after an ATV excursion. That time, it was pretty picked over. Not terrible, but definitely not the best time to go. One nice perk is that they still have servers who bring you cocktails while you eat, which feels a little more elevated than a typical buffet. We went back one night before our dinner reservation to give it another chance, and dinner was much better. They had options like chicken cordon bleu and lobster.
All right. We got some chicken cordon bleu. There you go.
You got cheese stick? Pretty good.
It's not like hot and melty, but it's like toasting.
They have a lot of good shit, honestly. Fried rice was good. Fries aren't bad.
One morning, we ordered room service for breakfast, and both went with the American breakfast. It was absolutely massive. Eggs, bacon, sausage, hash browns, pancakes, juice, the whole 9 yards. Took about an hour from when we ordered it to when it arrived, so keep that in mind if you're on a schedule. I didn't love the eggs, but the bacon and the hash brown were pretty good. Overall, nice option if you want a slow morning in the room. Just make sure to tip your server. Now let's talk about this expansive property. It's huge. It took about 10 to 15 minutes to walk from one end to the other, so definitely pack comfortable walking shoes or sandals.
One thing I really like about this property is how well kept and how well manicured everything is. There's beautiful landscaping, tons of pools. There's one mega pool that stretches through like the whole middle. And then if you have club level, you also get access to separate like club only, adults only pools. And they have a swim up bar and they're like a little less crowded as well.
The swim-up pool in the club section was one of our favorites. It made it super easy to grab drinks without ever leaving the water. There were also a ton of open cabanas, so we never felt like we had to wake up early just to claim a spot at the pool or on the beach. I would say the overall vibe of this property is quiet but fun and relaxing. The music at the pool wasn't necessarily the vibe for me, but the energy is calm, more of a lay in the sun, read a good book kind of place rather than like a huge party resort. One of our favorite little spots was the tiki bar closest to the club lounge, tucked between the pool and the beach. It was usually not crowded, the bartenders were great, and the location was perfect for bouncing between the pool and the ocean without having to walk too far. The main lobby bar is really like the heart of this resort. We saw that a lot of people gathered here before dinner for a quick drink, and it's absolutely just gorgeous and opulent. Just off from the main lobby area, there's a little stretch called Caribbean Street where you can find shops, the sports bar, and the casino. It's an easy walk from the lobby and a nice change of scenery if you want to browse souvenirs, play a few games, or grab a casual bite and watch sports. We also tried the Italian restaurant Il Boccaccio, which opens as an a la carte breakfast and lunch spot for club guests only, so we decided to go for lunch one day. For my starter, I ordered the caprese salad. My husband opted to skip a starter and just ordered 2 mains instead for his meal. I found it to be simple and good, but nothing to write home about. I liked my fish for my main a little bit more. My husband ordered pizza and lasagna. We both really liked the pizza, but it did have a strong truffle flavor. I usually like truffle, but this was even a bit intense for me, so take that with a grain of salt. Overall, I'd recommend lunch here for days when the weather isn't great or you want a break from the sun, because the whole experience did take longer than just eating at C&C. We tried the sports bar for a pre-dinner snack twice. It opens at 6 p.m. and both times it was basically empty. The food is nothing special, very similar to just American-style bar food. My favorite thing here was the cheese sticks. They do have a bar, but not a full bar. For example, no mint for mojitos. This definitely has potential to be a fun vibe if you're coming with a group and there's a big game during your stay, but I don't think I would go out of my way to come here as a couple. So I'll rate this a 6 out of 10. I wouldn't beat yourself up if you don't make it here.
Thought I was ordering tater tots with their hash browns, which is what it is, but let's try the Mon Sticks. Very good, actually.
At night, the resort offers live music and entertainment in the lobby bar and in the courtyard outside near the steakhouse.
Para tanta desilusión, él no fue diseñado. Si
We found that the main lobby really comes alive. This is where we ended up spending most of our evenings, listening to music, people watching, and sipping on some amazing espresso martinis. On our last night, we had a dinner at Limited Gourmand, which is the more upscale French restaurant on the property. Men do need long pants here, so keep that in mind when you're packing. We both really loved this meal almost as much as Nine Doors. My husband said the house wine was nothing special, but they made a great Aperol Spritz for me. For starters, I got the baked prawn bisque and my husband got the Iberian ham croquettes. They were both absolutely delicious, probably my favorite starters that we had on the entire trip. Each bite was rich, flavorful, and piping hot. For our mains, I ordered lobster and my husband opted for the steak. My lobster was pretty good. I was on a roll ordering lobster on this trip and it never really disappointed. My husband was actually pretty impressed with his steak. He said it was probably one of the best steaks that he's had at an all-inclusive resort. Obviously not Michelin level, but good value.
It's probably one of the best I've had at all-inclusive.
You do need reservations here. Overall, I'd rate it an 8.7 out of 10. As club level guests, we also had access to the executive lounge, which I loved for quick takeaway salads and sushi to eat down by the beach. It was never crowded and had great views. So would I recommend the Majestic Elegance Punta Cana? Overall, yes, especially if you're looking for a chill, romantic beach getaway that doesn't completely break the bank. For 4 days and 3 nights during shoulder season, we paid just over $900. For what we got, an adults-only, club-level experience, a beautiful beach, butler service, multiple restaurants, and a huge property, I think it's truly great value. The resort is definitely more quiet and relaxed. I don't know if I would come here for like a bachelor party. Most of the guests were older, in their 60s or 70s. There were some couples in their late 20s, early 30s like us, but if you want a wild party resort, this is not it. If a great beach, good food, and having plenty of space is important to you, you'll love it here. I do wish they served top shelf liquor and the rooms could use a bit of a refresh, but the service was really good. We never had to wait for drinks. The staff held our luggage after checkout so we could still enjoy the beach. And there were even free showers in the lobby to rinse off before heading back to the airport. This is your sign to add the Majestic Elegance Punta Cana to your bucket list.